Please consider supporting me on Patreon for bonus perks.
Hello, it's KRBrickBot, and coming right off after the first Mecard Ball Mega, the Chinese version, is gonna follow it right up with the Korean version of Mega Akan, like Akansphere, and then Wolfinix. Yeah, so this is loose with the Akan, and this is boxed without the Bitewolf because I just bought these off Soltron. Now I'm sending them off to someone else, and so I'm taking a quick look at these, and so I completed the Wolfinix set with the Chinese version of Bitewolf. Yeah, the box had seen better days. Yeah, but this should be the same size. This should be compatible with the Korean Mega Mecard mech. This thing was just scrunched and folded in this inverted box of plants. At least I can take a closer look at what the Chinese box looks like. So as you see, this is a box set, unlike the Korean version, which is just like a plastic card. The blister back. I guess I kind of like boxes, it's kind of easier to stack and resealable. Yeah, if this wasn't super crunched, I would have just put all the rest of the Mecard in here. Yeah, but this is a cross sell with the other, I guess, the others of the wave. Dispion, Zaz, Petan, and the other side also has a more cross-sell with the other Wave 1 Mecard Ball. So yeah, this is the same Mecard company that also makes the Hello KRBrickBot in China, and then authentic Choi Rock seal of approval. Change. Yeah, this thing comes with a ball launcher, and the instructions here look like copy from the original Korean 3D renders, and I guess the simple gameplay, and then there's even an app. Not sure how that's supposed to work. China gets a interactive game app, not Korea, really. Okay, I think there's more interesting information. It looks like they even do customer service in China, and also conveniently it says right here, for mainland China only. Good amount of Chinese product information that I can't read. Yeah, except maybe the product number, ABS, H6 and up, Choi Rock Holdings. Okay, and just taking it out right here, and then... No, I can't really even salvage the backing of this thing. This green, this inner green. Nice scrunch plastic blister, nice full display of the robot here. And 3 balls and the ball launcher, China exclusive ball launchers with every set, so that's a really nice bonus. Okay, being more of a creature than a humanoid, this does look more complete as a robotic dog wolf thing. I mean, the head is vaguely canine or rodent. It almost looks like a rodent if you don't know what it is, because it doesn't quite look like a wolf. It doesn't quite look like the animation model. Yeah, maybe this is snout. Maybe it's the black upper area here. Doesn't have much of a side frills. That would have really sold it. It does have a big old shell tail. Little blasters here, and little engraving inside here, like those spokes that kind of vaguely replicate these side tail spokes here. Pretty good purples and transparent yellows to transform it back into its Mecardable mode. Yeah, I guess just generally put it all together and Bitewolf turns into some sort of tank. Yeah, kind of interesting. Not a sporty car, but more of a combat tank with 2 twin barrels. Maybe it's a rolling tank or a hover tank. Why not? It's just a rolling tank. It's nice slight variation from the typical cars. Rolls really well. And this would be really fun to just try to launch this thing instead of just rolling along just to aim and shoot. Cute, he just kind of nomming on it. And you can even see those are supposed to be the lower jaws and teeth. So will this work? Just take this placeholder box, Yeah, I think it does. Or not. Checking the Korean version of the toy, I think this is just how it is. It's friction enough, but it's just held in by the mere friction of springs. And the doors. Yeah, as you see, this spring just kind of loading down here is just kind of resting on it. The sides here, these side little springs here, they don't really press in that much. So expect the Akansphere box to be the same styling as the Wolfinix box, like just showing the balls here. 5 balls right in this here. I'm assuming they're the same colors for every copy. Combine, 2-stage, convert combined system, and then convert with Bitewolf sold separately. TV advertised product. Domestically patented. And playing with this increases your skills in adversity quotient. Left and right side are the exact same, just showing the vehicle and the robot features with the combining and the launching and the warnings here of the things not to do with balls, like putting things that are not balls into the launching mechanism and such. It says right here, November of 22. MAB huge. I believe the back of the box is the same for Akansphere, just like showing the Mega Akan, and then of course the sold separately would be on the other one for the other box. So only Grandborn is a multi-changer, while the other 4 Mega Mecardimals are either split vehicles or just one big vehicle. Yeah, in this case, Akansphere is like Combat Car A and Combat Car B. If you take the definition of car as a motor vehicle with wheels, because yeah, those are very toyetic vehicles. They really don't look like vehicles. I mean, they're very realistic, practical vehicles. Because Combat Car A here, because yeah, look, it's a tiny little front wheel thing, and then followed by just 2 side wheels very much off to the side instead of like, practically on the center. Yeah, that front cockpit looks very toyetic because it's just a very simple cockpit shape. Yeah, just very simple slope with one little bevel. If this wasn't maybe had a few more cuts in, like this would look more stylish, but just this very simple shape makes it look like a very simple toy car vehicle, very much kiddie style for an advanced mech, supposedly. Yeah, just those 2 wheels off to the side, just really sticking off there, just kind of vestigial. And at least there are extra roller wheels under here, so the back wheels don't have to support it. Neither if you take the front cabin off. Yeah, so this could roll on its own, which looks even more like a rolling oven. And this like some sort of dinky little escape car pod. And then Combat Car B is some sort of wheeled tank thing. It's a thing on wheels. It very obviously looks like legs on wheels. I suppose the slope is good for just clearing away stuff. Rolls pretty well here, but it's a bit annoying that these slopes don't exactly line up to the bottom. I mean, even though they all roll, so. And the positioning of the leg ratchets here doesn't allow you to keep it perfectly flush, even if you do that, so you have a different problem if you try to do that, and then you can kind of bend in the knees like this, so it does kind of work. But then this cannon would be facing directly downward rather than straight ahead, so kind of a no-win. I mean, this looks, I guess this holds better because there's a bit more tension here, but then this has a little bit more of a higher angle. Yeah, but this is not the primary mode you're going to be displaying it in, just these rolling legs. But how would the 2 vehicles look combined? Yeah, of course these flip out into wings. Then yeah, rotate these, and then there are no extra connection points to keep these together, only by the tabs on this gun. Yeah, so only that keeps it in this position, and the friction of the thigh swivels, so at least the combat car looks some sort of thing on the wings. If it's aerodynamic and wings, it's a kind of a jet. Yeah, combining that with the Combat Car A. Yeah, first it looks like you do need to put a ball here to activate the spring lock here. Yeah, pretty nice little gimmick. Just, it pulls on these latches here, which springs up these. Then yeah, just fold this car section here, 180. Slide it into the top groove here. Insert that ball cannon here. I totally forgot there was a ball cannon and don't know where it goes in the other car modes other than right on top of this gun here, so. This is the Spearhead. Yeah, I'm assuming it's like a spear in this mode and not like sphere, like Akansphere, so. Because yeah, this is just a flying thing. I mean, I guess it looks better with the back half because it has little tail fins, but it still has these things in the back sticking out there, kind of making it look unaerodynamic. Unless it's like a rolling flying thing. Unless you want to just fan mode the side of the arms a bit, so I guess you could make these look like extra hover thrusters, or I guess if you fold those arms in, you could clean up the look a little bit. Yeah, kind of maybe it looks a little better here. Yeah, but yeah, all three of these vehicle modes look very toyetic. It just looks like a robot just reconfigured into a vague shape of a vehicle just to make it some sort of thing. Battle tank mode that either has the front wheels lifted up or the middle wheels lifted up. And also not rolling on these, so yeah, that's... To put it more in blabbery detail, just none of the parts are cohesive. That is, there are no parts that just intentionally flow and connect with each other, one another, like aesthetically, not like panels that line up like in car robots. Yeah, so you just have like a separate wing and then the separate legs, separate arms, separate cabin, separate fins. Yeah, it really just does feel like just like a robot lying down in a vehicle shape. Yeah, so let's get it into a robot shape. Yeah, just take it off its butt. Then yeah, flip that down. Yeah, rotate those arms. Nice clicky ratchets. Rotate, fist out. Then you better remove the back cabin here, at least hinge it down for the Akan. And then this Akan car sold separately and has absolutely nowhere to go into vehicle mode. It just kind of just runs into the back here. And as it does, it lifts up this spring-loaded head. Yeah, it's a nice little gimmick to make it face reveal. And then which collapses this panel. What have I done? Oh no. Why did I felt that I was losing an arm as I jammed this in, and now it's falling off. Now I'm gonna have to glue it back on. Oh dear. Now with Akan repaired and properly inserted, this is the full Akansphere mode. Yeah, it's a pretty big, chunky robot. It has good enough chunk. It has a good styling with the wing side skirts and the very trapezoidal arms, the very triangular arms. Kinda hard to imagine this chonker is the upgraded armor piece or armor mode of this pretty sleek Akan here. And I think that's almost a scale. That head has one of the longest chin soul patches ever. Really the weirdest thing about this aesthetically is just how the Akan car is positioned. I mean, it's just kind of a bit lower and much more centered than on a short torso, so it kind of looks like a pot belly right in the middle of the chest. I mean, I think it would look more natural if this was completely up there, but then of course there would not be enough clearance, so this is the best it could look. It just looks like a pretty big fat tummy. Or if it was more toward the back here. For the articulation rundown, a nice head swivel with a visible back panel head syndrome, but at least it does auto snap to make sure it's perfectly straight. If you don't really like that, you can just temporarily unscrew this thing. So it just kind of looks like a cleaner head. Nice clickety rackets. 4 quarter intervals. Transformational 4 butterfly joint. Nearly outward that much. You have to get the elbow out of the way. Nice bicep curl that you really have to make sure it's at the right angle in order to actually pose that. Nice clickety elbow bend, the elbow curl. Transformational inner wrist. Nice legs forward that much. Little skirt flaps. Not really back that much. There's this thing getting in the way. All the way split out with the moving skirt flap. Nice ratcheted knees. And then nice thigh swivels. Then the toe down. This is not really an ankle pivot. Oh, those off-center forearm wheels that are like that so that it can roll on the ground are gonna annoy your OCD. Yeah, it's a pretty decent posable bot with both the thighs and biceps. And yeah, you guess it can do a pretty good A stance with the permanent, molded feet stance. Yeah, but twist the thighs the wrong way. They could be a little unstable. I try to get into good leg poses. I guess has substantial back heels, but maybe not enough. So, I mean, of course, ankle pivots do help in poses, but everything else is kind of hard to get into good poses, like dynamic poses other than just standard. And of course, the animation model really stylizes this, like I guess making it have a more heroic stance and build, and especially a much smaller tummy car. I mean, that looks a little better. He comes with 2 weapon accessories. I guess this rifle gun that kind of looks like a barrel. Could have used some paint there. I guess it's also a bayonet. It's just that little pin that forms a little flip out sword. And the other accessory is this ball launcher, which really does look like a classic Bionicle 06 Xamer Sphere launcher. Of course, without any spring trigger. And you arm him up into 5mm hands. Yeah, so some nice armaments. I suppose you could store them somewhere else, like the holes on the legs, which they're not meant for that purpose. That's just for another mode. But that's something you could do. I guess this inverted hole for another combination, you could kind of use that to make some sort of awkwardly mounted shoulder cannon. That's something you could also do. Or, if you remember that vehicle mode storage, just plug it right on the butt. That's probably the best way to store these weapons if you don't want to keep them in the hands. Of course, the anime has some other weapons that are not included with the toy itself, including a big old sword, so I suppose you could just borrow Akan's sword for a release that came later after Akansphere, even though that's not the same design as the Akansphere sword, but close enough, right? For the other mech, I'm just gonna start with the Eaginix mode. Yeah, and unlike Akansphere, she's just one big transforming mech with the complementary Bitewolf. I mean, well, yet she's an oddly proportioned eagle. No, this just more looks like a flying vehicle in the shape of an eagle than an actual robotic eagle. And because, the wings, because you're obviously the robot legs, pretty thick legs, they're just right in front there. The talons are all the way back here, just only these are the talons, and they can't really pose down here. Yeah, there's the semblance of the bird feather, the tail feather, and extra wings here. And yeah, how is she supposed to perch? Yeah, of course, parts forming. So this is the best you could do. I mean, at least this head folds down, so I guess that could have been deliberate. Yeah, kind of looks like a perching bird now, if a little awkward looking. Yeah, this looks much more natural than a straight-on flying pose. Even this looks okay. I suppose these robot skirt flaps could also act as extra landing gear. Grandinborn can store its partner in vehicle mode. Akansphere can't with the 2 cars. Unfortunately, Bitewolf can be stored on top of here. These little friction ridges that just happen to insert in the pre-existing slots here doesn't really give this good solid connection, so these wings fold up to really latch in there with an audible click, so that Bitewolf is secured on there nice and easy. Well, yeah, now Eaginix has extra blaster cannons. Guess the ball launchers can be configured in multiple ways thanks to the thigh swivels. I guess either a back bombing or just sky bombing. Or just forward bombing. Now for transformation, it requires parts forming of the head. That easily comes off. Ratchet around, just 180 legs and the wings. Pretty easy so far. Yeah, unwrap the tail around the 5mm pegs around here. Soft ratchet around and then claws around, fist down, claws around. Yeah, then take Bitewolf, flip out the chest doors, slide that in that oddly shaped panel there. This should push that head up, and then weapon storage is basically the holes on the forearms. I guess this tail weapon goes here, and the bird head weapon goes here, which kind of blocks off the hand there a bit. I suppose you could reverse this, which is not the official configuration, but that works too. Yeah, this just looks like a shield, but flipped down, this does look like an extra set of barrel blasters. Could be a bit wibbly on these hinged pegs. Yeah, but that's a thing to do, just having some extra vestigial parts form the extra weapons, which might be disappointing, depending on how you look at it, because they're not really integrated into the robot itself. I guess Wolfinix lets Bitewolf have a voice, but besides that, this is a bit of a sleeker, leaner, I guess maybe more of a central chest toned build than Akansphere. And of course, I'm sure the anime proportion just really makes this more stylized and maybe more appealing. Yeah, the Bitewolf also forms nice chest cannons for extra offense. And this is just kind of frictioned in. There are no really locking tabs in this central torso. I mean, I think hopefully these tabs should hold it pretty well, but it's really only held in by these little plastic flexible tabs here that could warp over time, so I guess it's like that because the torso also splits in half. Yeah, I'm sure this is the same with the Korean Bitewolf as this Chinese Bitewolf, so just be careful not to roughhouse this thing and maybe just kind of force click it like that. That's not intentional, so that's something you could do, but so this thing can hold up to 4 Mecard balls, like 2 that click right in the shoulder, and then 2 integrated spring-loaded ball launchers. Yeah, click that in, and that pushes out a trigger. Yeah, so you could do a chicken launcher. I don't know, if you can get the right motion, you could probably get a little more kinetic energy out of that. Yeah, I guess it's nice to have some integrated launchers for once, instead of like an extra ball launcher that's kind of vestigial accessory. You gotta love the canine ears on the head sculpt with a nice, ridged, lined silver faceplate and a moderate chin and neck. Kinda looks a bit flat compared to the back plate and the rest of the proportion of the head. Articulation rundown, the flat head swirls around with a nice locket in the middle. Nice ratchety shoulders around, and then inner shoulder pivots. That's more for the transformation. Nice bicep swivel and an elbow curl with no wrist swivel except the inside for transformation. Nice forward almost all the way with the skirt flap up there. No back really, no connection points. Nice splits and 90-degree knees and a nice thigh swivel. Even with those extra extrusions, it swivels around perfectly. And then toe down, whatever good that is. Yeah, I guess much like Akansphere, it can pull a good standing pose with those predetermined stance slits, but you try tilting the thigh swivels any other way and it kind of starts flopping. Hard to get into good dynamic poses. These two do look like a good pair, like sharing the white and black with some extra, their primary color scheme, like primary red with accent yellow and then primary blue with accent red. And again, near commander class size and pretty accurate with generation scale according to the show. Combine it to Mega Akan. So yeah, I guess you basically work with Wolfinix, who just turns into legs basically and extra accessory armaments. Yeah, just slide that out. And then these will form the feet. Yeah, interesting slope of the shoulders, which is actually the permanent stance of the main foot. And that tilts like that. Then repeat the same for the other foot with the head hidden there nicely. Yeah, so flip that foot around like nearly 180 there so that there's these obvious combining holes. Yeah, I guess when combined that will cover up the ball launchers, so just neutering them. Just gaining a couple more centimeters with the feet mode. Now to turn Akansphere into the main body and arms. Yeah, just rotate that all around 180. Just kind of spread the shoulders out like this. Flip up those and click those in to reveal the combining ports. There's a release button on the back of here, so that stays in nice until you pull that, press that, and then if you can see there's an obviously visible hand there. Click that in. May or may not require pushing that button. So there's this rail here that just slides right over to accessorize this main cannon, this main cockpit here. Flips out to form a gun, and then there's a little hole here and a peg here. Go to that side, and this forms the Mega Akan helmet. Yeah, I guess these two weapons combine here to form some sort of bow thing that goes in the other hole here. And then the main eagle head that goes into the pegs here. Drape them over the shoulder and then put that over Akan. And then finally the wings. Yeah, just... Okay, you can't exactly put it here securely. I mean, I guess you sort of could, but they'll kind of loosen it, so... Yes, yeah, just be sure to put that way so that it actually secures it nice and sturdy. Yeah, so just Bitewolf is just hanging out here as a backpack. As you close in these doors so that to utilize these clips on the back. It's a distinct two-pair combination, like with one bot completely forming the lower half and the other bot completely forming the upper half with just the accessories spread about. So I guess the end result is a much more leaner looking robot than the two combined. I mean, that kind of basically looks like 3 stacked torsos, basically. Oh yeah, also forgot, yeah, these do fold into and click into the skirt flaps as to give them more secure connection, and also the silver pieces line up there. I mean, the halves of the torso forming extra feet do work pretty well, and I suppose they have a bigger surface area, so even if you tilt them a bit, it will stand well pretty well. Yeah, but it probably looks a little ugly just coming to the arms, because these are entire halves of feet just folded up at the side, and then you add weapons on top of those, just really giving a wide profile, and then just really having the weapon just set off that far from the main arms. Just really looks... yeah, it just kind of looks like just stacking, just thoughtless stacking. I guess just would have been better if these halves were just hinged here so that they were formed on the back of the arms and not right on the side, or these weapons were moved differently. If these were handheld, maybe that would have helped, but this cannon doesn't really fit in the hand with all this in the way, and then I suppose this would work a bit better, but not by much. Yeah, you just have to rearrange the stacking order so that the blue rifle with its slightly smaller just can clear it, so I guess it looks better on that arm at least. Also, this ball launcher, it just goes in the other hand unceremoniously as a little pistol launcher, little thingy in the hands of a big robot. Kind of feels like an afterthought, so it kind of looks better just having all 3 of these stacked together to form a mega ball launcher bow weapon. I suppose that's an impressive looking extra crest of a helmet, even if it's looking a little squarey on the sides, but I guess the eagle head also looks pretty good, except for the connecting struts that kind of really obscure the vision of the Mega Akan. I don't know, connecting to the front could have helped. Yeah, so that's basically just an extra hat. But the eagle head looks cooler, but just could have had a better connection system, or they couldn't have thought of a better connection system. It's an actual ability for Mega Akan to detach the wing as a separate flight drone that shoots the enemy. Now, I guess it was more like this, if you want to do it like that, but that's unstable. Articulation should be just like the upper half of Akansphere, the lower half of Wolfinix. Yeah, just nice rackety legs. I suppose the combination of the arms do give it an extra bicep swivel with a more natural fist position, but no outward shoulder. Yeah, so that's about it for the articulation for the arms. Just a few inches of height does make it a bit taller than Commander class, or of course not Titan class, but still a pretty big presence and generation scaled. So Mega Akan is a pretty solid dual combiner set with the additional Mecard. I mean, I guess, very good solid joints, very good solid ratchety joints that hold up. Yeah, my only nitpicks really are just the aesthetics and the weapon handling. But otherwise, like, it's a good dual set, and it's always fun to have a main character eventually get a super upgrade robot armor suit. I'm familiar with that kind of toy trope. It might be a hard sell to get 2 of these, for exactly what appeal. Like, I guess the appeal is that it's a pretty big mech. It's 2 pretty big mechs that combine into a pretty bigger mech. I mean, I guess the aesthetics is pretty much like a geometric blocky type of Mecard, and one might argue it's not much different from the Hello Carbon aesthetic, but on the other hand, I guess maybe the more bestial features. I don't know. Yeah, but I think the main thing is you're really getting this for the robot mode or the combined mode, because honestly the vehicles are nothing to write home about. I mean, they're really not disguises, not any sort of fictional realistic cars. They're just like giant machines. And if you are only gonna get one of them, I guess Akansphere is the better looking one, unless you just like the eagle wolf thing more. So at this time of recording, it should still be available in Korean retail, and also one big Mega Akan box set, which includes Akan and Bitewolf, so that's nice to have in all in one. You could wait for the Chinese version of Mega Akan, since we have the Chinese Grand Aboard. I would predict a winter 2024 release. So they are the same size, but they have slightly lesser build quality. So expect the Chinese versions of Akansphere and Wolfinix to have silver plastic instead of silver paint, which Less scratchy, but not quite shiny. So if you're just looking for the shape rather than the maximum build quality, then the Chinese version is a good way to go.